Who defines what is good? We have to recognize that at its base level, good is a subjective term. It means different things to different people, but it deals with usefulness or helpfulness, enjoyableness. But from who? Who determines if it's useful? Who determines if it's enjoyable? When it comes to good works that God tells us to do, don't we need to know who's defining what good is? Let's go back to the very beginning, Genesis chapter 1. At the close of every single day of creation, God saw that it was good. Think about being kind of just observing the first 5 days of creation. Before man has ever been created on day 6, God still saw that it was good. There was no person to observe the landscape or the sunset to say, that's good. That's a good view. That's a good angle. But God said it was good. Why? Because it met His purposes, His design in creation. And of course, on day 6, He said it was very good. He created creation for man. And when He puts man in the heart of the creation, it's all complete. It's very good. So now let's connect those dots. God has a purpose in what He's given us. We'll look at chapter 2 of Genesis, or just think about it quickly. It's there He says that He creates every plant and fruit that is good for food. So again, who's defining what good is? It's still God saying this is good, but it's good for the purposes in man's life. It's good to be consumed by mankind. So now Jesus is going to take that literal framework from creation, God's purposes seen in man's life, and He's going to use that in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 7. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down, cast into the fire. So Jesus says, every life that lives but does not produce that which God says is good doesn't please God and is cast into the fire. Connect the dot one more level down to the good works level. Think about 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 16 and 17. All Scripture is inspired, or it's breathed out, and it's breathed out by God, and it's profitable it produces something for teaching, for reproof, for correction, for training in righteousness, that the man of God may be complete or healthy, thoroughly equipped or prepared for every good work. So God's defining for us what's going to be good. It meets His purposes. And He's telling us, here's how you are equipped and shown what is a good work and how to carry it out. Quickly, in thinking about this, that God defines good. He shows us where to find what a good work is. What do we do? What does it take for us to define something as good? We label this as a good thing. Is this morning, has it been a good morning? Was yesterday a good day? Was the previous week a good week? What factors do we assess to determine if it's been good? How quickly does it take for us to get to the things of God before we determine if it's been good or if it is good? Is it even possible for Christians to say, had a good day, and yet within that day I've ignored opportunities to do good for God? Or I've neglected my spiritual church family? Is it possible to say I'm carrying out and meeting God's purposes if I actually ignore His purposes? So we need the challenge here to remind ourselves. We can be deceived into thinking, I do a lot of good works, but what we're actually doing are things that are convenient and they make us feel good, so it must be a good work. God says, here's what a good work is. But beyond that,